Hello everyone, let's take a look on 10 things every beginner should know, and I wish I knew before when I started because it would save me a lot of time, and I am using these tools almost all the time. The first one is to use View Cube to orient your 3D view to some of your views, like floor plans, elevations and so on. So here if I go on my View Cube and I right click it, here I have Orient to View, and you see that I can choose from floor plans, elevations, sections or 3D views. So in our example, let's use this section, this typical wall section. And you can see that it did something like this, that it adjusted my section box by the extents of this typical wall section. So if I open it like this, side by side, you can see that my typical wall section and my 3D view are having the same extent, and even the far clip offset from the view, which is 21,000 something, will be the same here in this section box. So this from here to here, like this, will be 21,000, and it is driven by this extent. So this is the first tool, and I can orient this as well to my floor plan, like level 1. Now you can see that it got trimmed by the extents of my level 1 floor plan. Okay, so the next thing is to using a view cube to zoom to your selected elements. So let's imagine that I have an element like this and I need to zoom to it. I can use my view cube here with the predefined positions, and if I click it, it would zoom to my selected thing. And this thing doesn't need to be like one thing. I can select, let's say here, the window and the roof, and I don't know, the railing here, and I can just press it and it will automatically zoom it, so it will encompass all selected things. So this is also super useful, and I'm using it a lot, like this. Okay, the next cool thing which I'm using all the time is the box view, which is the tool here, or with the shortcut BX. And basically what it does is that if you have selected some things and you hit the BX, it will adjust the section box of your 3D view by the extents of the bounding box of these elements. So you can see that now it is zoomed to my selected elements. And the cool thing is that it doesn't work only in 3D, but if I go to my level or any other view and I just, let's say, hit this door and I want to see it in 3D, I would just press the BX, and now you can see that I see it in 3D only in the parts which are important for me. So I'm using this all the time. The next cool thing is this one. So if I select my wall, these two flip arrows are indicating me the exterior side of the wall. And this is important because if I'm not using the wall center line, but any other position of location line, sometimes I just need to know which side is exterior, and on the first side you cannot see it. But with this tool, you can actually say that, okay, this is my exterior side and this is my interior side of the wall. The next thing is using the tab when selecting. So if I have more things in the same position and I need to select, let's say now, the room, and I cannot select it on the first side, I would just hit the tab and it would cycle through my selections, and you can see that now I'm able to select the room. The other thing for which you can use this is if you have walls that are connected and that are linked together, you can just hover around the wall and press the tab, and now you can see that it is actually selecting me the whole chain of walls, not only one wall, but here in this example 2 walls. Or if I'm using the example with the detail lines, let's use it like this. You can see now I'm selecting one line. If I hit the tab, I'm selecting all of the connected lines. So this is also super useful and saving me a lot of time. The next amazing thing, which I really wish I knew before, is the save selection. And that means that imagine that I would need to select only these things, only these plates here. And you can see that it's quite tedious to select them one by one and do it all the time. It's just time consuming. So with my selection already selected, I can come here under the modify tab, save my selection, and let's say that this would be my plates. Hit OK. And the next time I am selecting, if I select more things, I can just go and load this selection of my plates. And you can see that now I have my plate selected in this selection. So this is super useful thing. The next super useful thing is select all instances, which is if you hit the right button, select all instances, and it could be either visible in view or in entire project. I would go with the visible in view, and it would select you the same instances of the same type which are in this view. So in this example, these water glasses or these plates. I'm using this also all the time, and I have actually created a shortcut for selecting this visible in view and in entire projects because it is speeding my workflow a lot. The next thing, again with the selection, is that if I select all these things like this, you can use the filter selection tool here, and you can see that I can check none, and let's say that I want to select only my furniture. So this way I am able to filter from my selection set, but it is filtering based on the category. So you can see that here, let's say that I want to select only my doors. So this way I have selected only the doors and filtered them from the selection. Okay, the next thing is creating similar. So let's imagine that here on this room I need to create another door, and let's say that if I would go the old way, I would just need to go to the door, select the right door and place it into the project. But I can do it more quickly, and that is with the create similar function, which has the CS shortcut. And I would just go to my door which I want to create, hit the CS shortcut, and you can see that now I'm creating the same type of door. So yep, and there is my door. And the last thing is close inactive windows. So if I have more tabs open, which is happening for me like all the time, I have many windows opened at the same time. So now you can see that here I have many tabs. You can see it here, sometimes it's like super long, and if I need to just close them all at the same time and I would leave only this one, here you have close inactive views tool. You just hit that, and now all of the views were closed except for the one that is selected now. So these were the 10 tools which I think every beginner should know, because they would save you a lot of time and speed your workflows like really a lot.